Big 12 now on ESPN Plus welcomes you to the campus of West Virginia University and the WVU Coliseum as West Virginia wraps up a 3-game homestand at home, and Jacksonville State kicks off a 4-game road trip alongside Warren Baker and Andrew Caridi. Bake, two teams that are looking to get back on track, two tough losses in two different ways. What are you expecting from this matchup?
Well, West Virginia needs to have more consistency. You know, Utah Tech just barely beat this crowd the other day. They've got a good ball club, but West Virginia needs to get back on track.
Well, part of this transition game for Jacksonville State's going to be Kiki Tandy. Had a great performance in that overtime loss to Utah Tech. He had 23 points.
Yeah, Kiki Tandy is good. He's transferred from Xavier. He's galvanized this team. He is their leader at this point.
And for West Virginia, as good as advertised, Jesse Edwards, he's averaging a double-double.
Well, Jesse Edwards has been tough. Nobody's been able to stop him, but teams are going to start collapse. Somebody else has to step up.
Third member of our broadcast team is Angelica Trenone, is standing by with Josh Eiler in just a bit. But for West Virginia, Bake, want to get back on track. You got some tough competition coming up in the next few games.
Oh, yeah, they do. They go out of town for the first time, and then it's going to be tough. But, you know, I think if they can win a ball game today and get a little bit more confidence back, they'll be fine as they hit the road.
Jack State, a dominant performance, won by 50 against Brescia in their opener, losing in double overtime to Utah Tech by 2, and Angelica Trenone is standing by.
Coach, I know you said you like the response from your team over the past few practices. What's the key to bouncing back tonight?
We got to carry over. I mean, it's great energy in practice. We're saying the right things, doing the right things. Now we got to carry over to the game.
Coach, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angelica. Here we go. Jesse Edwards will tip things off for the Mountaineers. And he will be lifting off against Nicholson. So, Bake, your keys to the game before we get started here.
Well, West Virginia needs consistency, like I said, and they need to box out, and they're going to have to do well against changing defenses. And for Jacksonville State, take West Virginia's crowd out of the atmosphere.
And we are started. Kobe Johnson handles for the Mountaineers. Left wing on to Ofri Neve. Standout West Virginia freshman from Israel goes down low to Kobe Johnson. Scoring touch he's shown in the last few games. He shows it there. Coming off a 13-point performance, he gets it started.
Well, Kobe hadn't shot the ball well from the perimeter, but he is strong inside.
Quincy Clark, the junior guard from Columbus, Ohio. First touch for the Gamecocks. Three-pointer, this is Tandy, and it's good. Jack State takes the lead, 3-2, 40 seconds in.
You know, Tandy, West Virginia's whole team has to, somebody's going to be on him, but that should be a team effort on that guy.
Johnson down the middle. Slozinski bounces it to Neve. How does West Virginia stop him, Bake?
Well, you just deny him the ball quite a bit, but when he gets it, somebody's got to be ready to help out if necessary.
Edwards. Johnson's got the points for West Virginia so far. Knocked down and a takeaway for the Gamecocks. So, Bake, again, just your overall sight of this game and your points.
Yeah, West Virginia, boy, they've got to strive for some offensive consistency, and they also need to be able to recognize changing defenses. And for Jacksonville State, try to get this crowd out of the game.
Tandy did that with a 3, and he drops one in here for 2. 5-2 Jack State, and West Virginia down 3 quickly here at home. Minute 40 seconds into our game, the WVU Coliseum. Andrew Caridi joined alongside by Warren Baker. Right wing to Slozinski. Been a good scorer for West Virginia, and he scores again. Quinn Slozinski, another bucket for the Mountaineers. They're within 1.
Well, he's a tough matchup at 6'9". He can put it on the deck, and as you saw, he can go to the hole.
Slozinski had 15 in that loss to Monmouth back on Friday, 73-65. Tandy looks to hit again, but can't. That'll be tipped out of bounds, and West Virginia possession.
Now, Ofri Neve in the starting lineup tonight instead of Seth Wilson. Last year, Seth was really, really good coming off the bench. I don't know if Josh is trying to juggle a few things here or not, but again, Neve starting the night rather than Seth Wilson, who had started the first 2 ball games.
Matt Mayers checks in for Jack State in the meantime.
Jacksonville State primarily a man-to-man team, but I would expect to see a little bit of zone out of them tonight. the way West Virginia from time to time has struggled against the zone.
Neve fouled as he went up the sideline. There's Ray Harper, 8 years with Jack State. For the Gamecocks, a record of 133 and 95. So he's got his game plan for this West Virginia team, Bake. You look at that loss to Monmouth. Well, what happened for West Virginia in the game that they were heavily favored? Transition is really what doomed the Mountaineers. And points off of turnovers as well. Fast break points, 28-8 in favor of Monmouth in that one.
Yeah, West Virginia did not do a good job of getting back on defense.
Slazinski. Josiah Harris, that's been his spot this season, can't hit from there. And it's rebounded by the Gamecocks by 1.
West Virginia was doing a good job getting back on defense.
Here's the junior, Quincy Clark, got an open look from the elbow, and Kobe Johnson able to rip down that rebound. Slazinski. Harris, and then to Jesse Edwards, who Coach Eilert wants to get him. More touches on the ball. Slazinski travels. And it's possession Gamecocks. So third all-time meeting between these teams. When you look at that result, 74-72 the last time they faced. So this is hardly a surefire win for West Virginia, despite being heavily favored. And everybody knows the transition in which this West Virginia basketball program is in the midst of. Nothing is going to come easy. We were here during shoot-around, Bake, and Quinn Slazinski has emerged as the vocal leader of this team. Last week behind us, this week in front of us.
Yep, exactly. And he, you know, he's a funny guy, and I think he keeps the team loose with the way he goes about things. But yeah, you're right. He is a vocal leader now.
If there was ever a Quinn Slazinski, he is him. Guy really within himself. Clark turned away. It'll be a 3 for Mayers. Banks it in. The senior from Westchester, New York, doubles up the lead for Jacksonville State, 8-4.
I don't know if he called bank on that or not, but he went down.
Johnson. That looks clean. And it's 8-7.
Well, it'd be nice to see Kobe Johnson knock some of those down. He has really struggled from the perimeter.
Kobe Johnson with 5 of West Virginia's 7 points. Purdue, floater, no good. Slazinski in a position to grab that board. Up the far sideline, Kobe Johnson, and then to Quinn. He's looking confident, Bake. Jump pass, Slazinski saves it, shot clock at 15. Edwards trying to isolate down low. See if West Virginia can get him a touch. They'd like it. Shot clock at 4. Edwards does get that touch. It opens up for Johnson. Just got to push one up there. No good. And taken down by Caleb Johnson. 6'7" junior from North Preston. So immediate takeaways here from this Jacksonville approach.
Well, you know, they're doing what they want to do, run that offense, and they're going to put up a lot of outside shots. West Virginia just needs to make sure they board.
Slazinski, good look. Left it short.
Shot probably a little quicker than Josh Eilert wanted at that time. But, you know, Quinn has a lot of confidence, and when he puts it up, he thinks it's going to go down.
Reynolds through the middle, ran right into Josiah Harris. Nice pass to Johnson all the way. West Virginia takes the 9-8 lead, and Kobe Johnson with 7.
Well, and Josiah Harris looking like a point guard on that play. A beautiful bounce pass right up to Johnson's hands.
So far, 5 minutes in, has been a game played in the half courts.
Yes, it has.
With the exception of that last bucket. Clark to the basket, shook loose of Kobe Johnson. The lead right back to Jack State, 10-9. Only 2 scores for West Virginia so far, Kobe Johnson and Quinn Slazinski. Edwards sets the screen. Slazinski found Edwards. Wide open look for the lead. No good. Reynolds rebound.
Yeah, Jesse Edwards could hit those, but I'm sure Jack State would let him have those 3-pointers all night as opposed to him inside.
No good from Mayers. And taken down by Kobe Johnson. Next dead ball will take us to immediate timeout. Edwards inside, fouled and they'll get Mayers for it. The senior will pick up his first. 13:45 to go. Jack State up 1 here in Morgantown from downtown. That's been the approach for both teams so far. We're back after this on ESPN+. Just the 11th career start for West Virginia's Kobe Johnson. He had 13 against Monmouth, passed on Friday. Well, he's looking good so far. He's got 7, Bake.
Yeah, he has. Well, he's been strong inside all year, but you finally see him able to hit a shot from the perimeter. You know, he reminds me of Keedy Johnson when Keedy was a junior. Keedy's offense wasn't there at that time, and he worked on it. Hopefully, Kobe can do the same, because when Keedy was a senior last year, he was a definite threat for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to develop. On the other end, it is Kiki Tandy with 5 points for Jacksonville State as we welcome you back to the WVU Coliseum. Jacksonville State 10 and West Virginia 9 so far. Jack State shooting 44%, West Virginia 50%. Not too much to separate these teams, Bake, obviously, in a 1-point game. Your impression so far?
Well, again, West Virginia's doing a good job on the boards. You just got to try to hold Kiki Tandy down some. He and Quincy Clark run the show, those 2 guards. So keep them in check, and I think you have a pretty good shot at this bunch.
Jack State, a team that is averaging 85 points per game, 61 points per game allowed, which is kind of skewed, obviously, because you get some opening competition in the season. Most recently a loss back on Friday to Utah Tech, 81-79. They're an offense that can go, and Kiki Tandy goes through him. He had 23 in that overtime loss. Back underway. This is Slazinski. Edwards looking down low, trying to open up.
Seth Wilson and Jeremiah Bembry in the game for West Virginia as well.
Yep, new man at point guard, number 5. Here he is. Jeremiah Bembry made a nice move. Goes up, left it too strong, slips out of the hands of Edwards, and taken down by Jack State. Jack State, in the meantime, has introduced Alex Odom into the game, 11 in red. Shot clock at 10 for Tandy, former Xavier transfer. That 3 is good from the far corner. Marcellus Brigham, 6'7" junior from Memphis. Finally had that flip switch, according to head coach Ray Harper. Averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds per game last season. And Jack State is up 4. Bembry almost gave it away. It comes to Harris, and he makes it. Great adjustment. Could have been a disaster for West Virginia within 1.
Well, as you pointed out, that's the place that JoJo Harris likes to shoot that ball. You know, he works a ton from that corner.
And Bembry with a youthful mistake, potentially not punished for it. West Virginia will take it. Slazinski isolated down low. Kicked out by Burney. And a straightaway look for Brigham. He got it again from the corner. And now from the top of the arc, it's 16-12 Jack State.
Well, you know, Jacksonville State will run a lot of players at you. They have 10 guys that are playing 10 or more minutes a game.
Slazinski left it short. 4-point lead for the Gamecocks. Tandy wants that ISO on Bembry. Step back. Looked good, didn't fall. Odom's after it and can't save it. He stepped out of bounds along the sideline. Jack State 16, West Virginia 12. Josiah Harris gets on the board for West Virginia. But the Mountaineers got to slow it down on the other end. We're back after this. Jack State by 4s. We welcome you back to the WVU Coliseum, nearing the halfway mark. Jack State shooting 50% in the game. Andrew Critty, Warren Baker with you here as West Virginia wraps up a 3-game homestand, game 1 of a 4-game road trip for this Jack State team. And Baker, this is a Jack State team that is very new looking from last season. You can really say that for most college basketball teams, but they're making it work so far. They're making it click.
Well, yeah, they are. And West Virginia needs to, play right with them right now. West Virginia has those lulls in offensive end. Sometimes they can't afford to do that against this team.
Jesse Edwards underneath, goes up. No call, grabs his own board. And finally gets the foul call there. He'll shoot 2. Now, West Virginia has had its looks. However, you either go to Jesse Edwards to score it or redistribute it.
Well, yeah, that's right. And, Jesse's going to draw a lot of people each time he touches the ball. So the other guys have to be ready to shoot it because he will kick it out.
98th career game for the 5th-year Edwards. First free throw is in for the 70% shooter. West Virginia within 3. First trip to the line for either team. Mountaineers make a change. Pat Sumnick will check in, give Quinn Slazinski a breather. And Bake, to your prior point as well, mentioning a handful of guys, 5+ who can play over 10 minutes a game for this Jack State team, as West Virginia will keep the ball here. But before that, Angelica Trinone is standing by.
Guys, I just talked to assistant coach Deshaun Butler. I asked him what went into Ofri Neve getting his start over Seth Wilson. He said he really liked the way that he's been practicing this week. And Seth, like Bake mentioned a little bit earlier, has been a guy who's good off the bench. They're hoping that he can be that offensive spark. As for how to get that offensive spark, he said it all comes down to defensive stops. That was the message in the media timeout. That's what they're looking for, some more production on the defensive end to create that offense.
Thank you, Angelica. Yeah, there is Ofri Neve for West Virginia, as Pat Sumnick called for a foul on the other end. Ofri can be a little bit more dynamic, I think, which earns his way into the starting lineup. 4 points, 5 rebounds against Monmouth.
Yeah, it is. All he's lacking right now is experience and then a little more size. West Virginia now going to a 2-3 matchup zone. Don't see West Virginia in the zone very often, but they're in there right now.
Open look no good. Yeah. Falls out for Tandy, rebounded by Wilson. Good eyes up the floor for Kobe Johnson.
And well, West Virginia's going to play that zone. They can't give Kiki Tandy looks like that. He missed that last one, but you have to know where he is. Another good job of West Virginia running the floor and getting an easy bucket.
Yeah, the transition has paid off for West Virginia here, as that is bounced out of bounds by Brigham. It'll be West Virginia basketball, being down 1. Check that pass out.
Yeah, guys with their heads up looking down the floor, and that's what you need. We've seen that from Wilson just now. We saw JoJo Harris do it earlier.
Lorain, Ohio to Canton, Ohio. Nearing the halfway mark. Jack State 16, West Virginia 15. Kobe Johnson with 9 already. Left that one hanging. But they're giving him a lot of space, aren't they, Bake?
Yeah, they are. Well, they know that Kobe hasn't been a great offensive guy up to this point. So.
Good look for Brigham. Can't get it to pay off, though. Offensive board, the second opportunity. And Edwards, they're going to be called for the foul there.
Yeah,
he was flattened into. So Jesse Edwards will pick up his first foul as we get a second look at it. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess didn't have a feet set.
And if he did, maybe he was inside the circle, but I didn't see it.
Yep. Brigham to shoot 2. He's got 6 already. And make it 7. Marcellus Brigham, 6'7" junior from Memphis. Kiki Tandy, leading scorer for Jack State. Makes way for Caleb Johnson, the junior.
Boy, they have a lot of experience on this team. Kiki Tandy, a grad student, Purdue is a senior, Clark a junior, Brigham a junior. So they have some experience on this ball club.
Mountaineers with Johnson, Edwards, Seth Wilson, Pat Sumnick, and Josiah Harris as the 5 here. That's the set they wanted for Kobe Johnson. Good recognition. Mountaineers trying to move the ball around. Five on the shot clock for Kobe. Sumnick for 3. They'll take it.
Yes. That's not what Sumnick's known to do. He's more of a guy that bangs inside, but certainly he had that open shot and he shot it with a lot of confidence.
Pat Sumnick, the 6'8" junior from Green Bay, Wisconsin. 3-pointer from the left wing, no good. Another offensive rebound, this time in consecutive possessions for Jack State. We'll have a relatively fresh shot clock here. Clark on Wilson. West Virginia still in that 2-3. Got to make something happen here. 3 on the shot clock. They drop it underneath. That's a great pass and finish. Nicholson gets the points, but all the credit to the dish that time.
Yes, it was. Drew all the traffic and then dumped it off.
Edwards up and fouled with 8:38 to go. Jack State up 1, and Edwards will try and tie and take the lead. That is great vision by Quincy Clark there, the junior.
Yeah, he got in the lane and drew all the traffic and then just dumped it off to the big fella inside. You know, Josh Eilert wants Jesse Edwards to touch the ball almost every time down court, but teams are making it so difficult to get that ball into him now. I mean, he's a marked man because that double-double, you know, in the first 2 games, people are going to pay attention to that.
And not exactly a secret. Edwards ties the game at 19. Neve and Slazinski will come in for West Virginia. Slazinski will get Edwards if he makes the next free throw. Mountaineers going slightly smaller with these changes. Meanwhile, Jesse Edwards already played 11 minutes here, get a breather soon, and he will.
Yeah. Josh Eilert's good about that. We're at 8:38. There's going to be a TV timeout in anytime under the 8-minute mark, so he gets a little extra rest right now. West Virginia's still in that zone, but they've got to do a better job of boxing out. That's the only thing bad about a zone. Sometimes you don't have a direct man to box out.
Oh, Wilson nearly a steal there. Pushed floater from the foul line, no good. Rebound Sumnick. Johnson to Wilson, and he traveled as he was collapsed on with 8:21 to go here in the first half. It'll be Jack State ball.
Yeah, pass just a little too long. Seth Wilson tried to catch it and gather himself, but certainly walked in the process.
Well, Bake, if West Virginia can rebound, it seems like they have that transition man.
They
up the
do.
floor. Sumnick defending Mayers underneath. Mountaineers with a lot of bodies down there. Johnson to the basket, can't get it to go. And it'll belong to Jack State with 7:55 to go here in the first half. Mountaineers by 1, 20-19 here from the WVU Coliseum. Back after this on ESPN.
That fucking fire play, right? We got you guys up there. He's just gonna run, he's just gonna seal, and he's gonna flash. One, that time you fixed it, but if we get both, it'd be great. It's for the back guy. When you see him back there connected, it's for that guy. It's fire.
Virginia, Alex Ruoff, West Virginia assistant coach, making those alterations. In the meantime, space has been open for the Gamecocks. Down just 1 here to the hosts, West Virginia, Bake.
Yeah, that's right. West Virginia, though, they're hanging tough and doing what they need to do here. They've got to be able to get on the boards, though, again, if they're going to stay in that zone. And it appears they're staying in that zone right now again.
West Virginia, 12-11 in the rebounding advantage. Johnson and Wilson playing the top of it. A lot of athleticism, though, on this Jacksonville State team. Juwan Purdue to the corner. 3-ball tipped and tipped out by Jack State. It'll be West Virginia ball. Seems like they can worm their way into the central areas and have enough soft spaces to find an open man.
If you can penetrate and get down the seams, oh boy, just a terrible pass by Slazinski just now. West Virginia fortunate that the Jacksonville State guy stepped out of bounds.
They had that right on the line. That was Kiki Tandy, the senior.
Those guys are good at anticipating. Very aggressive defense.
Kobe Johnson has 9 for West Virginia. Screen comes from Sumnick for Slazinski. Knocked away from him. And Jack State has it. Clark fouled by Neve. At the 7:13 mark of our first half.
Well, a couple of sloppy possessions by West Virginia. And again, they play a very aggressive defense. They will get out in the passing lanes. If you throw anything lazy at all, it's going to be picked off.
Jack State cooling off. They're 1 for their last 8, falling under 40% shooting. Again, open man and a travel before the trigger was pulled by Roberts. Travis Roberts, the 6'6" sophomore from Waldorf, Maryland. That's his spot. They want to go to him, Bake, if West Virginia will lay off of him. Guy that hit 41% from 3 last season will have his moments.
Well, anytime you're in a zone like that, you have to know who the shooters are and where those guys are going to be.
Long 2 for Quinn. Slazinski, no good. Neve, the rebound. Johnson pushes one up from the baseline, and it falls in, and Kobe Johnson's in double figures with 11. No other Mountaineer has more than 3 points. Sumnick 3, Edwards 3, and Harris 3. It has been a Kobe Johnson-centric West Virginia offense. Deep 3, no good from Tandy. Another offensive board for the Gamecocks.
The only thing really bad about that zone is that you give up a lot of offensive rebounds sometimes if you don't communicate.
Has been a point of emphasis for West Virginia to get on the glass. Sumnick with a block. And to Wilson. Slazinski throws one up quite literally and will shoot 2 as he grimaces with the right ankle. Seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Yet again, though, Bake, defense to offense for West Virginia. Jack State a little late to get back.
And Pat Sumnick with a nice defensive play. The way the guards crash for Jacksonville State, if you can get the ball, when those guys penetrate, you can have numbers, and we've seen West Virginia have numbers, and you can get down the floor and beat them because they like to penetrate, they like to go to the hole.
Quinn Slazinski had 15 and 2 against Monmouth back on Friday, a Houston, Texas native. West Virginia by 3 here, just over 6 minutes to go. Mountaineers have got to the line 3 times now. They are 4 of 5.
Pat Sumnick coming out of the ball game, I thought he gave West Virginia some really, really good minutes while he was in.
Yeah, Pat Sumnick a +4 at the last media timeout. That has probably grown for the substitution. West Virginia enjoying its largest lead of the night, 24-19, 6 minutes to go. Coach Ray Harper on the other end for Jack State. We'll have to like where his team is at, but they have cooled off. A 6-0 run for West Virginia. Jack State just one of their last 10. And on cue, they will snap that with a bucket, 24-21.
Now Quincy Clark really, really good at that guard position, able to penetrate. That time he didn't try to go all the way, pulled up and took the little jumper.
Career best 18 Saturday against Utah Tech, transfer from Lipscomb. Neve was hassled there before he got it into Johnson, who does his best big impression before Jesse Edwards goes up and one.
If you're Jacksonville State, I don't know how you could forget about him. Somebody should be putting a body on him each time, and he just followed that thing up and really flushed it and picked up a foul as well. Try to go to the line and make it a 3-point play.
They'll get Brigham for the foul. And to be fair, Bake, Edwards wasn't in the game until recently, so they probably did forget about him. And one is no good. 26-21 West Virginia, 5 and change to go until our halftime break. Quick first step from Clark. Tandy back to Clark in the corner. Well, Tandy hasn't been too active. He's got 5 points. First 5 points of the game for Jack State.
They've done a pretty good job on him.
Reynolds, good look, got it. And Ivan Reynolds, the 6'5" junior. Transfer from Cal State Bakersfield. Makes it a 2-point game. Edwards is down there with hands all over him. They do get the foul on Nicholson as Edwards was trying to isolate. And it looks like a snap between a center and a nose guard down there, and Jesse Edwards looks to open up. So Nicholson will make way. That's his second. as he heads to the bench. 7th team foul on Jack State, so Jesse Edwards will go to the line. Edwards at 69% this season. 3 for 5 tonight.
Yeah, Jacksonville State's going to play a lot of players. They'll keep running guys in and out all evening, trying to wear the Mountaineers down.
First of 1 and 1 good for Jesse Edwards. He's now got 6. And that'll be a question for the Mountaineer group in half number 2. So far has been a game played in the halves. And a lane violation on Slazinski. No, actually, it's going to be on Jack State. Quinn Slazinski seemed to have stepped first.
Well, now, and they've changed it back again, so.
Okay, they did.
Yep.
They had it right. So we'll see it again, yeah. I mean, pretty obvious step there from West Virginia's 11.
Hey, Ray, why don't you get a bigger pullover? Mountaineers, defense!
Jack State, 39% shooting. West Virginia, 43. Clark taking Neve off the dribble. Good defense and a steal by Edwards. Forced by Neve. Slazinski the target down low. And that was deflected and into Jack State's possession.
Yeah. Slazinski's pass hit the underneath the backboard there, out of bounds. So tough turnover right there. West Virginia had numbers. He was trying to get the ball across court to someone that was open, but couldn't get the pass under the basket.
Yeah, not often do you see that ball hit the support beam of the backboard, and that's what happened. So semi-confusing situation, but Jack State ball. Mountaineers by 3. Reynolds has 3, Tandy has 5, and an offensive foul underneath.
Yeah, I think they got Bernie inside with a push off.
Yep, Andres Burney, the 6'9 junior, just another upperclassman for this Jack State team. Eastern Florida State College transfer, averaged a double-double there. And that'll be Burney's 2nd foul. Alex Odom also back in there. 11 in red for Jack State. Next Ed Bowl will take us to immediate timeout. Steal there. Edwards forcing quite an effort there. Thought he was guaranteed to get the foul.
Well, yeah, but that's a great play by Edwards because that was a sloppy turnover by him just now.
Yeah, Purdue could not get the sell. 3:30 to go, first half. Johnson to Jesse Edwards, and 1. West Virginia extends the lead, and 1 for the big man when we come back on ESPN+. Pat's.
Welcome back to the WVU Coliseum, where the Mountaineers hold the 31-24 lead over Jack State, and that in large part due to the play of Kobe Johnson. Head coach Josh Eilert said he had full confidence in what Johnson could do this season, and Johnson said even before the Kirk Reesa suspension, he knew he had to step up big for this team. He said he may not be able to produce the offense like Kerr, but he does think that he gives more on the defensive side due to his size. We've seen a good hustle play from him there. We've seen the offense tonight as well. Josh Eilert joked, would it kill Kobe to smile a little more? Well, I think he's got plenty to smile about in the first half.
Sure does, Angelica, thank you. 11 points for Kobe Johnson as we welcome you back to the WVU Coliseum. Not just his point production as well, but Kiki Tandy, his matchup before West Virginia went to his zone, holding him to just 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. So Kobe, what he's known for, he's doing both.
Yes, and you know, you have to keep knowing where Tandy is because he can light it up many times, but West Virginia's doing a good job of shadowing his side.
Andres Burney, meanwhile, picked up his 3rd foul on the Jesse Edwards slam dunk. Jesse misses the and 1. And it's 31-24 West Virginia. 3:19 to go. Neve gets a hand on it. Gets a rise from the crowd. There's Tandy to Odom. Shot clock at 8. And that's off the foot. And ahead to Ofri Neve. Largest lead of the game for West Virginia, 33-24. It is 9, and a timeout for Jack State.
West Virginia really active in the half court with their hands in that zone defense.
That just bounced right off the foot of Reynolds. Neve took advantage of it. West Virginia, 3 of their last 3, getting good looks and a scoring drought again for these Gamecocks. No bucket or points in the last 2:10. Seems like West Virginia has settled in here, Bake.
Yeah, West Virginia now, every opportunity they get because of the penetration of the Jacksonville State guards are leaking out and running the floor and beating them down the floor. We've seen numerous fast breaks by West Virginia tonight and Jacksonville State with no one back.
West Virginia as well, points in the paint advantage, 16-6. We thought that the Gamecocks would try and run with West Virginia. In all intents and purposes, probably made sense that they would. However, Mountaineers have limited that. 3 no good on the miss from Travis Roberts. And instead, West Virginia has taken advantage. Stretching the play really big with long passes up the floor, like you said.
Now Jacksonville State in a zone.
Josiah Harris fouled before Edwards was trying to get that put back, and Josiah will shoot 2.
Yeah, that was good recognition by West Virginia. You know, teams are switching defenses, and one of the things that West Virginia had trouble with before is when teams went zone, it took them a while to get in the rhythm, but just now they got right into the offense. Right now, Jacksonville State is coming down, not working inside like they were doing earlier. They right now are trying to shoot the ball from the perimeter, and it's not dropping.
Josiah Harris has 4 points now. He's played 12 minutes here in the first half. You're kind of the opposite of how West Virginia's first 2 games of the season against Missouri State and Monmouth have gone, where the offense begins to click later in the half instead of the first couple possessions and then going dry. I mean, we're 2 games removed from a first half where West Virginia went 4 of 32 against Missouri State in the first 20 minutes. Underneath, Mayers working against Edwards. Shot clock at 8.
West Virginia really active in that zone.
Contested 3 is good for Quincy Clark. He's got 7 now, and finally Jack State will break that scoring drought of over 2.5 minutes.
Jack State in zone again now. West Virginia needs to again attack it, try to get that ball inside and then go from there. There it is, right inside.
Jesse Edwards. Quite an adjustment for West Virginia. They were able to do it.
Neve drew traffic, and of course Jesse knows what to do. Roll down the lane.
Jesse Edwards with 10 now and 4 rebounds. Less than 90 seconds to go until the break. Mountaineers by 9. Mayers with 7 on the shot clock. Tandy, that's a good look for him. Left it short, rebound Edwards. Kobe Johnson up the floor for the Mountaineers, and Slazinski will step into this one and bang it. Snowballing for the white-clad Mountaineers here. Up 12 with less than a minute to go. And all of a sudden, Jack State looking stiff. Underneath Mayers, they found Tandy. Deflected off of Edwards unintentionally. And a 3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Mountaineers don't want to force anything here, Bake. What do you want to see?
Yeah, well, just get a good shot right now. It doesn't have to go down, but you can take the shot clock all the way down and only leave 3 seconds even if you miss it.
Got a couple options here. Johnson and Edwards have the hot hand. 5 on the shot clock. Josiah Harris. Yes!
Sosinski with a great look.
And a heave at halftime, no good on the miss from Quincy Clark. And 14-3 run for West Virginia over the last 5 minutes, the final 5 minutes of the first half. Angelica Trenone is with Josh Eiler.
Coach, been quite the turnaround on both ends of the floor for you over the past 5 or so minutes. What's changed, and how do you keep this momentum coming out of the locker room?
I think the zone was good. I mean, I stuck to it. They hit a couple shots early, but, you know, we got active in there, created some turnovers, really helped our offensive transition.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Josh. Halftime has arrived in Morgantown, West Virginia, with a huge run, 8-0. Getting ready for half number 2 between West Virginia and Jack State. We'll walk you through the highlights of our first half. Bake, this is a team that features a lot of experience for Jack State. They were really able to move the ball around and get looks early. 1 of 7 juniors. They're just able to spread the ball around. Some experienced guys.
Yeah, Jack State really came out shooting the ball from the perimeter well. But, you know, West Virginia, after running them a little bit, slowed them down. And then we see Kobe Johnson and his strength inside.
Yeah, Kobe Johnson for the Mountaineers with 11 points. He was getting looks inside, outside, and then finally Jesse Edwards also making his presence known.
Yeah, Neve with a nice drive right there, drawing traffic. And Jesse has great timing knowing when that pass is going to come.
So West Virginia through the first half shooting 54%. That is whopping for the Mountaineers, plus the rebounding advantage, plus sharing the ball well. 11-7 in terms of assists, which is good, because when you have limited numbers and limited guys off the bench, Bake, you're going to need to share that ball.
You most certainly are, and West Virginia's done a nice job of that. And look at the points in the paint. West Virginia dominating there as well. A lot of those are fast breaks, and then again getting into the big guy inside.
Tonight, Kobe Johnson officially 11 points, 5 of 9 shooting, and Jesse Edwards 10 points, 3 of 5 shooting. Jesse needs 5 more rebounds to make it a 3rd consecutive double-double in his 98th collegiate basketball game. And for Kobe Johnson, gotta love this. And just to refresh our viewers out there, or maybe the neutral viewers out there, West Virginia kind of underhanded a little bit. 3 guys missing from the regular rotation. 1 they'll get back for sure. That is West Virginia point guard Kerr Kriisa, suspended for the first 9 games of the season. So he'll be back very late into the non-conference campaign for West Virginia. And then obviously the question mark still for your backup 4-5, a Cook, who is out indefinitely. And then of course Raekwon Battle as we wait for that appeal.
Well, I wish they'd make a decision one way or the other. Just leaving the kid hanging on like that's just not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kerr will be back. But you know the experience that Kobe Johnson's getting now, regardless of whether you know Kerr's going to start. But it'll be nice to have Kobe coming in with the experience he's getting right now.
Yeah, it could be a decent 1-2 punch for West Virginia. Kerr Kriisa, more of the passer anyway, and Kobe Johnson, if anything, has developed into the scorer. But his total line so far, Kobe 11 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. He played 18 minutes in that first half, so all but 2 minutes for the West Virginia starting point guard. We're back underway.
You know, West Virginia's coming out in a man-to-man to start the second half, and I think that's very wise. Guys come in and they are arrested. Yeah, and West Virginia with another turnover. Oh, good.
Yep, and Neve fouled on his way up. And Josiah Harris looking for that follow-up. Falls on top of Kiki Tandy. It'll be 2 to shoot for Ofri Neve.
West Virginia very active with their hands. The deflections, I'd like to know how many deflections they've had tonight, but they really beginning in those passing lanes, able to steal the ball.
Ofri Neve for West Virginia is shooting 60% this season from the free throw line.
Yeah, to finish my point there, you know, West Virginia starting back man-to-man. Sometimes if you come out in the zone at the beginning of the second half, guys are rested. They start not get them up and down, get them tired, and then if you want to go back to that zone, I think you'll be good to do that.
Second free throw wouldn't go, and rebounded by Jack State. There's a question of how you make a team adjust into a different defense is just scoring points, right? As that is off of West Virginia. It'll stay with Jack State.
Now, West Virginia needs to put two halves together. They've struggled in one of the two halves in both games they've played. They need some consistency here in the second half.
Yeah, Mountaineers up 40-27 at the halftime break. We'll get a foul before that ball was even into the hands, really, of Quincy Clark. We'll get Josiah Harris for a hold. That'll be his first. Mountaineers scored just 32 points against Monmouth in the second half of that game. Running floater no good from the former Musketeer, Xavier Kiki Tandy. West Virginia had a whopping second half against Missouri State, of course, but anything is better than 4 of 32 shooting in a first half. Shot clock at 7 for Slazinski. High arcing jumper is good.
At 6'9", you're not going to find many guys that can go out there and guard him like that.
Yeah, quite a pickup for West Virginia. Quinn Slazinski. Louisville, Iona. That's another giveaway for Jack State, and Coach Ray Harper does not like it. As we see that teardrop from Slazinski, who relative to his last few games have been quiet, but he's back on pace. He's got 9 points. So biggest challenge of the season by far for this Jack State team is West Virginia. They're on the road against North Alabama, Incarnate Word, and UTSA following this. Johnson kind of surprised how open he was. He got it to fall.
Good recognition by JoJo Harris to get that ball inside.
So 13 in back-to-back games for Kobe Johnson, plus the block and the save. Confidence key to this West Virginia team. Nove, no good.
Good setup by Johnson just now. Nove just couldn't get it down. West Virginia doing a good job getting back.
Scoring is 5-0 for the Mountaineers to begin this second half. Played just over 2 minutes. Nice teardrop in from Jawan Purdue. Got up and over the 6'9" Slazinski. Jawan Purdue in his 5th season at Jack State. 108th career game. What percentage of guys are going to spend all 5 years at one place?
School, yeah. Don't see that very often.
No good from Johnson that time. Pace has lessened to begin this second half. Quincy Clark has 7 points and 3 assists. Mountaineers will have to adjust. It falls apart and opens up for Brigham, no good. Rebound Neve, who grabs another for West Virginia. Ofri Neve has his 4th board. Slazinski, all the way.
Well, Jack State really slow getting back on defense.
And a timeout for Jack State with 16:45 to go here in half number 2. All West Virginia to begin half number 2. 7-2 the score.
Welcome back to Morgantown, where West Virginia continues to extend its lead. Entering the season, it looked like Jesse Edwards was going to be the focal point for this Mountaineers team. And well, a few games in, he has been just that. A preseason All-Big 12 honorable mention, also named to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar preseason watch list as well, and he's averaging a double-double each game. Coach Eilert had said that from the Monmouth game, the biggest thing he wanted to see tonight was this team getting back to its bread and butter, and that was Jesse Edwards. He said that he had made it a point to tell the team that the last game, Edwards touched the ball the least out of any of West Virginia's starting 5. He says those touches don't necessarily have to get to points. Edwards can kick it back out, but everything needs to go through him. Like I said, he's been the focal point. It's been working so far tonight as well.
Thank you, Angelica. Jesse Edwards, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and yeah, they have tried to get it to him when it's been there. But a lot of the stuff, Bake, have really been the tertiary stuff. So West Virginia looks for an Ofri Neve cut, and Jesse Edwards, either the second man to be passed to or following up on a West Virginia shot.
Yep, he's doing a good job, and he'll continue to work hard. And West Virginia's still in that man-to-man. I think they'll stay there a while, then probably go back to some zone. Ooh, that was a tough shot.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson. Edwards not out there as we return after the timeout from Jack State. So that's a bucket. I'll get Harris for the foul. That'll be his second. And an and one free throw here for Caleb Johnson.
Well, one of the things Jack State did at the beginning of the ball game was really attack the glass. Then they settled for start taking a lot of threes. Now we may see them go back and attack, especially with Jesse Edwards not in right now.
Pat Sumnick, who was a +7 in the first half for West Virginia. 24 in whites out there, along with Seth Wilson. Slazinski got a really good look here. He'll make it count.
Well, you let him get set like that, and he's going to knock him down.
Now, we were talking about Quinn Slazinski maybe not showing up as offensively in the first half for West Virginia, but that has since changed. He's got a team-high 14 points now. That'll fall in.
That's 2 times in a row now. Jack State has gone back inside to try to get things going.
Caleb Johnson with back-to-back buckets for the Gamecocks. Slazinski just hit the 3. 5 on the shot clock. And Johnson looking to push one up, wouldn't go. Rebounded by the Gamecocks. They'll show their transition here. Purdue inside to Mayers. Strong, and Harris ferociously after it. Sumnick through the middle. Well, had some space opened up. We'll kick it out instead. A lot of people touching the ball, though, on these possessions for West Virginia, Bake, which is the way it's designed to do.
Yeah, ball movement's been good.
Oh, Sumnick was there. 5 on the clock now for Wilson. And Harris stepped on the line. And that'll take us to immediate timeout. West Virginia up 17 here against the Gamecocks. Quinn Slazinski. Another bucket for West Virginia. 14. Big pickup in the offseason for West Virginia. Quinn Slazinski. He's got 14 points from downtown, from inside. What's standing out about his game, Bake?
Well, it's just the way that, as hard as he plays, he's always moving, and he has a good thought process when it comes to setting up his shot. You know, he'll duck in and then step back, and then you can also see him drive as well.
Getting a ton of points for West Virginia this season. Had 15 against Monmouth, 18 against Missouri State. He's got 14 right now, and 2 of 4 from way downtown. So West Virginia has to like what they have from him. And Slazinski, a +13. But the biggest plus-minus leader for West Virginia, Kobe Johnson, he's a +20 right now as Sumnick whacks that one away. Edwards forces the miss, and it's rebounded by Harris.
Good job by Edwards inside not to pick up a foul.
Got that +20 for Kobe Johnson, Bake. He's got it now.
That's what you want to see out of your point guard. That's exceptional.
Kiki Tandy hasn't even scored in the second half. Sumnick can't get it to fall.
I just didn't get it up high enough on the glass. He did everything else right.
A defensive breakdown for West Virginia. Follow-up wouldn't go, and tip to Johnson. This is floated ahead to Wilson. Oh, Johnson was near it.
Jack State has a guy hurt on the floor here. I can't see who it is, but he didn't get up and hasn't come down the floor.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson is down for the Gamecocks. It's his ankle, his right ankle. Clock stops with 13:40 to go, and West Virginia up 50-33. The Nova Scotia native, Caleb Johnson, had that odd collision. We saw Andres Burney go up on that last look, and a couple guys clattered into one another.
where Jesse Edwards has made it very tough on anybody inside. I mean, there's a couple of shots that have gone up and it didn't even look like those guys were even looking at the board. They were concerned about him.
Yep. So he was just between the trees there and came down right on that right ankle, and immediately you knew wasn't feeling good. Change now for the Mountaineers. Jesse Edwards and Jeremiah Bembry.
Well, Kobe Johnson with a well-deserved rest. West Virginia now back in that zone again.
Wilson tied up with Brigham. And the possession arrow belongs to West Virginia. Mountaineers have outscored Jack State 10-6 in the second half, but both teams haven't been able to score in the last couple of minutes. A drought of 246 for West Virginia and 225 for Jack State. And here's a press here to the inexperienced Bembry. Mountaineers recover though. Got to get it over here soon. Slazinski, no look, nicely done to Josiah Harris.
Nice pass on the floor. No panic. West Virginia was down to 2 seconds getting it over. Still no panic. Able to find Harris inside.
Yeah, you'll see that from the fifth-year guy, Slazinski.
Yes, exactly.
That's his first assist of the game. Bring him to Reynolds with 8 on the shot clock.
Jack State has been all out of sorts against his zone.
Slazinski will foul Brigham. Yeah, you were saying, Bake? Nice look from Slazinski.
We've seen it from West Virginia all night. Guys keeping their head up. You know, you put your head down, you can't see the floor. But we've seen, you know, JoJo Harris do it. We've seen Kobe Johnson with his head up. Seth Wilson. You do that, you'll find somebody open.
First free throw good for Jack State. And Brigham now with 8, making it 52-35.
Jack State extending their pressure. They're going to try to get some turnovers against West Virginia here.
Edwards is the guy to trap. And they do that time. Tandy with Edwards on his back. Can't get there quick enough, and it's a 2-point off the turnover.
As good as Jesse Edwards is, you don't want him to bring the ball up against the press.
Yep. 2-on-1 here for West Virginia. Harris has tied his career high with 9 points. Kobe Johnson not out there, also tied his career high with 13. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Edwards. He got it in his hands. And they have it wiped away from him.
Yep, there comes that double team.
Good help defense that time from Clark. And Bembry will be called for the block as Brigham looked to take it to the basket. And that'll take it to immediate timeout with 12 minutes to go in half number 2. West Virginia 52, Jack State 37 on Big 12.
A busy weekend is in store for West Virginia athletics, and ESPN Plus is your home for all of the action. It begins on Saturday as WVU football welcomes Big 12 newcomer Cincinnati at 2:30 p.m. in a game that will honor legendary head coach Don Nehlen. Then a doubleheader is in store on Sunday. The WVU men's soccer team, the number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, will take on the winner of Louisville and Dayton at 2 p.m. And then come on over here to the Coliseum at 4. The women's basketball team looks for a 3-0 start on the season as it welcomes Youngstown State. WVUgame.com is where you can purchase your tickets for this weekend's action.
Thanks, Angelica. I know what Warren Baker is doing on Sunday.
Should be a good one here. Went and saw the women take care of Pitt the other day, and
yeah,
they're going to play a very difficult Youngstown State team to beat.
Yeah, how about that? Back to the action here. Rebound, Burney. Slip on Edwards, and they'll get him for the foul. And for Jesse Edwards, that will be his second. Yeah, just enough of an adjustment there on Edwards.
Josh Solid wanted a hook by the offensive player, but couldn't get it.
Yeah, kind of both, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Clark going to work on Kobe Johnson. Kiki Tandy can't score. Hasn't scored in quite a while. Just 7 points for Tandy, leading scorer for Jack State this season. As West Virginia and Kobe Johnson go to the corner for Harris and then Slazinski. 10 on the shot clock. Edwards, good turn, and was fouled by Bernie. That'll be 4 on him, as it was almost liftoff again for
Yes,
Jesse Edwards.
I don't think Jesse knew he was that close behind him just now.
So he'll shoot 2. Edwards just 50% from the line tonight, 4 of 8. He's got 10 points and 5 rebounds.
Let's see what West Virginia does this time down court. They went back man to man. I think Josh Idler thought they were standing around too much in the zone. He wants them to pick it back up again. That will help the offensive end as well. So let's see if they go back. I think I would look for them to stay man again.
West Virginia leading off points off of turnovers, 14-7, as Edwards hits the second. Active hands from this West Virginia defense.
They are going back to the zone again.
Edwards got a handout there on the miss, and Josiah Harris had his finger on it a couple times, but ultimately pulled down by the Gamecocks. 10:50 to go, half number 2. Clark, and they'll get a foul. Did they count the basket? That's the question with 10:47.
I believe they did. The referee said 2 shots. He didn't see it go in.
He didn't see it go in, yeah. All right, it's an N1. Yeah, count the bucket, 54-39. And just the slightest tap from Seth Wilson on his arm. And Neve will replace Josiah Harris. Josiah Harris heads to the bench. 9 points, 5 rebounds. 3-point play completed by Clark.
And Jack State, again, with pressure, West Virginia has to be very strong with the ball.
And a timeout for Seth Wilson. Didn't have the option, as again, that really mischievous press by Jack State emerging there. But that's what you got to do. I mean,
yeah,
seems like West Virginia has really been able to move the ball, so don't let them get set up in the half court.
No, they're down 14 right now.
So West Virginia performing as they are, we're going to need to do the exact same thing coming up as they head down to Fort Myers, Florida. They'll take on SMU and Virginia or Wisconsin, and then return home for a couple of games. Bellarmine, St. John's in the backyard brawl, December 6th.
That's a tough stretch of basketball coming up.
And that's why this one is so important. Get a win, get back in the win column, get some confidence back. But big overall, I mean, how would you grade this West Virginia performance as opposed to the first 2?
Oh, I think tonight they've grown some more here tonight. You see the guys, especially Kobe Johnson, with the way he's playing and the confidence that he has now, along with Neve.
And a carry on Ofri Neve.
Boy, how often do you see that called anymore? Wow.
You know, Jack State was called for a carry in their last game against Utah Tech, and I said the exact same thing. That game in the first half. That is rare. Interesting. Seemed like Neve at least had a little bit of an angle on it, but nonetheless, here's a chance for the Gamecocks to really get back in it. Too much. Rebound was Neve's. Tied up and taken by Slazinski. Multi-individual effort there for West Virginia.
Yeah.
Coach Eilert calls out the offense from his position. Edwards gets his touch.
Want Edwards to get that touch there a little closer to the bucket, though.
Yeah. They got the big man Nicholson back on him. Wilson with 4 on the shot clock. Kobe Johnson pushes it up. Never had a good look at it.
No, you know, somebody might be critical of that shot, but he had to put it up.
Yeah.
Really, offensive rhythm was not good that time. Jesse Edwards had the ball out front for a good 5 seconds, so you got to get that thing in.
Good look for Kiki Tandy. And Jacksonville State has now outscored West Virginia 16-14 in this second half. It's just an 11-point game. And it's the Mountaineers now halfway through this second half. Kind of flat, no field goals in the last 2 minutes and 31 seconds until Kobe Johnson goes to the basket. Won't be a field goal, but a chance to get West Virginia some points on the board.
You know, a lot of focus on Jesse Edwards. Johnson saw that, faked and went back door. Got a good pass, but he was fouled.
Kobe Johnson makes 1 free throw. He sets a new career high. 13 against Monmouth, has 13 now. That averaged 2 points per game last season. And he's got it, 14 points.
And again, the experience that he's getting once Kerr gets back will really help West Virginia out. Able to give Kerr a blow, those type of things.
And even in some capacities, if Kobe can maintain that, as we see Kerr Kriisa on the bench in the middle there for West Virginia. I mean, maybe even run a 2-guard.
Well, you could.
I'll leave that up to Coach Eilert, though. And Deshaun and Alex Ruoff, assistant coaches for West Virginia in year 1. Mountaineers stay in the zone. Edwards made that shot really tough. Rebounded by Johnson. Eyes up the floor.
Good decision to back it off.
There's the touch to draw the double. And Edwards draws the foul.
Yep.
So the question becomes now, Bake, as West Virginia leads by 13, what will be different for West Virginia when they get into these Power 5 opponents, and especially in the Big 12 with Jesse Edwards and his ability to move the ball?
Well, you know, the strength of those guys. The guys in the Big 12 are going to shove him and push him a lot more than he's seeing right now.
Yeah.
Now, he saw it at Syracuse some, but I'm telling you that this league is very, very physical.
Yeah, Big 12 a little more physical than the ACC. Slazinski, oh my. Ooh. He'll take it. And Slazinski with 17.
What a matchup problem he is at 6'9".
The ultimate jack of all trades guy. Rebound, block. Oh, they'll get Edwards for the foul on Nicholson. Want to see that a second time with 8:27 to go.
Yeah, he may have got him with the lower body.
Yep.
We'll see.
Edwards picks up his 3rd. As we saw that 3 from Slazinski.
Let's see.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he got the lower body in, and that was contact.
Yeah, enough of it.
Fans certainly don't like the call.
As they say, ball don't lie. Free throw missed. Kim Kissinger, Kelly Self, and Blake Harris are officials. We've gone from an anti-Kip Kissinger chant from the students to the Chick-fil-A chant. Missed them both. And that's Chick-fil-A for a section. Random section, that is. And a whistle with 8:18 to go. 2 changes to come for the Gamecocks. It's Matt Mayers, the 6'8 senior, and Alex Odom, the freshman from Piedmont, Alabama. Just 12 minutes away from campus for Alex Odom. Didn't play against Utah Tech and limited minutes here, but he's back in there. 8:18 to go. Mountaineers by 16. Neve forces it into Johnson. Kobe goes up. No good.
Everything with the finish. Good, strong move. It just didn't go down.
Yeah, in the meantime, Edwards on the bench and Pat Sumnick back out there for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia back in their man-to-man now.
Juwan Purdue wants the matchup against Seth Wilson. Couldn't get it to go. And Sumnick crashed into and fouled. And that'll take us to the break zone. West Virginia 59, Jack State 43. Final minutes coming up on ESPN+.
Stay high and wide. High and wide. Right back to the ball. Wait, we're not ready yet. Be ready for press break, though. We're going to turn up the heat. We're going to turn up the heat on. We're going to be diligent.
Josh Eilert drawing it up in the West Virginia huddle. 7:48 to go, half number 2. West Virginia 59, Jack State 43. As we welcome you back to the WVU Coliseum, Andrew Caridi and Warren Baker with you. Knew we were going to get a West Virginia performance with a lot of energy and a lot of willingness to perform here. Bake, after the Monmouth loss.
Yep.
That was a game as well where everything went against West Virginia and everything went for the Hawks.
Yeah. West
Monmouth
Virginia had another bad half, and we saw that in the first 2 games, and it really hurt them then.
Yeah. Slozinski fouled. He'll shoot 2. Quinn can tie a West Virginia high with 18 points with a free throw here. Mountaineers as a team shooting 53%. They shot 35% in that Monmouth game.
Yeah.
19 for 36 are the Mountaineers from the floor.
Well, the choice of shots that West Virginia has taken, that's been huge.
Absolutely. Angelica Trenone has more as Quinn Slozinski shoots his free throws.
Slozinski said that when he suffered his season-ending injury in January, he did have doubts about what his return to the court would look like, but he knew he wanted a change of scenery and a place that he can go and play free. He says that's exactly how he's been playing here at West Virginia, and he says he has never been happier in his 5 seasons playing college basketball as he's been on and off the court right here in Morgantown.
How about that? Thank you, Angelica. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he's being himself. You can tell right away that Quinn Slozinski is Quinn Slozinski.
Yeah, every time I speak with him, he's just happy as a lark here. He enjoys the whole experience here.
We love people who embrace being themselves. 3 in the shot clock for Kobe Johnson. Works it up and scores. Kobe Johnson with 15 now for the Mountaineers. And count it as a new career high. 61-43 West Virginia, 6.5 to go. As that's a beautiful teardrop falling in for Kiki Tandy.
Well, you can look for he and Clark to really try to take over down the stretch here.
Yeah.
Juwan Purdue on the floor as well. Purdue will, he's the other guard. And Clark getting ready to come back in now, but those are the 2 guys that are going to try to score.
Tandy now with 12, and actually it's going to be a 17-point total for Kobe Johnson officially. Takes Odom to the basket. Oh, Sumnick was there for the follow-up. Couldn't go.
West Virginia back on defense. Good job.
Tandy. Counted. Big make. 61-48.
Got to find the shooters. Find out where he is on the court. He's the guy that's going to try to bring them back.
Slozinski's got to get over and does. To Neve, 5.5 left. Well, this game's still in reach for Jack State, Bake.
Yeah, it is. West Virginia's got to take care of the ball, and eventually they're going to probably have to drop in and knock some free throws down.
3 on the shot clock for Slazinski. That's off of his foot and out of bounds. Johnson with tight defense in West Virginia will bring in Jesse Edwards and JoJo Harris in the meantime, as Tandy just 2 open.
He comes down and finds that open spot and does not hesitate to pull the trigger. West Virginia zoning. Make sure you find the shooters.
Brigham back to Johnson, 10 on the shot clock. Nothing inside. The ISO here, Johnson and Wilson. That's a really tough shot. Awkward bounce, dealt with, and rebounded by no one. It's a jump ball as Jesse Edwards tied up with Brigham. Less than ideal for the Mountaineers on that defensive sequence, Bake.
You know, West Virginia, they took a terrible shot and almost did come up with the offensive rebound. Boy, West Virginia's got to make sure when that ball comes off like that they come up with it.
Yeah, Harris and Slazinski both wanted it.
Yeah, hit 2 hands for West Virginia.
Reynolds. 10-point game with a 3-point play here, Bake.
Yeah.
Tandy's going to be the guy to take it. Neve with a hand up, and Tandy drains it.
Wow.
And it is a 10-point game with 4:16 to go. Mountaineers haven't scored in 2.5 minutes, and just like that, an 8-0 run.
Well, West Virginia has had a tendency to have these type of droughts.
Giveaway there from Josiah Harris. An 8-point game.
West Virginia may need a timeout here, get organized.
Reynolds, just his 5th point. Now edge of the seat stuff here from Morgantown. Slazinski fouled on his way to the basket. And 1-and-1 free throws when we come back. On the 7th team foul from Jack State, 61-53, but a 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes for the visiting Gamecocks, plus this gem from Tandy. He's got 18. Kiki Tandy, the guy to make things happen for Jack State coming into the game. Didn't get to do it all that much in the first half. He had just 5 points. He's now got 18, and all of a sudden the Gamecocks within 8, Bake.
Well, you know, the Xavier transfer, he's the bread and butter for this ball club, and you can see them looking for him. West Virginia, again, cannot fall asleep with this guy on the court because we've seen how he can knock him down.
Here's his line. Kiki Tandy has hit 4 3-pointers. 7 of 17 from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 3 minutes, 42 seconds. Long time for West Virginia, short time for Jack State. Slazinski will try and extend the West Virginia lead. First of a 1-and-1, up and good. The Mountaineers from the line, not great tonight, 13 of 21.
And we saw Xander Rice from Monmouth the other day light it up against West Virginia. And you know, Tandy's the same type of guy. May not be as prolific as a scorer as Rice, but he can do it. West Virginia has to know where he is.
Slazinski now with 19. That is a West Virginia high for him. Clark traveled. Nice drop from Edwards to defend that, Bake.
Yep. Clark's a guy that likes to get inside and either score or kick it out. That time out of control, walked, big turnover.
Now the clock will work against Jack State. Slazinski. Has to have an option here. And we'll race ahead, just getting over the line and away from a double team. The no look to Josiah Harris. Could be enough for West Virginia. They're
Big
back
shot
up
for
13.
Harris. Big shot for Harris. Wow.
Tandy can't answer and rebounded by Kobe Johnson. Well, The 10-0 run for Jack State has immediately flipped after that break. Mountaineers have scored the last 5 points. Edwards, ISO'd there with Mayers. Back to Slazinski. That's beautiful. Just without the end product and looking like a middle blocker there, Jesse Edwards.
Great play by Jesse Edwards.
Don't know how big volleyball is in the Netherlands. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Slazinski. Johnson for 3. And rebounded by Brigham. 2:14 to go. Jack State needs points, and they need it quickly. And Edwards fouls Mayers on the way up. 4 on Edwards with 2:09 to go.
Got the ball in deep. He got good position on Jesse Edwards inside.
Jack State shot just 8 free throws in this one. They are 4 of 8, shooting 34% as a team.
Well, it was a huge foul on Edwards. That was his 4th. But, you know, if Bear misses both of these free throws, it might be worth it.
Need a lot of stuff to go right to get upsets like this. He makes 1 of 2. And back in the game, Jawan Purdue. He will replace Mayers. And Purdue, a lot of experience, need guys with that type of experience out there. He's played over 100 collegiate basketball games. And a whistle. And I think they did not adjust the clock.
I'm not so sure the shot clock started when the ball came in.
In the meantime, West Virginia has the possession arrow and the 12-point lead, and have shot 50% in this game, 42% from 3. Mountaineers with Neve, Johnson, Harris, Edwards, and Slazinski out there. That is your starting 5 to close out this game. The double comes with under 2 to go. And a jump ball, it'll stay with West Virginia. And Slazinski, I think, had something to say wisely. Alex Ruoff and Coach Eilert wave him off.
Well, West Virginia has to be poised enough, take care of the ball here, and be ready to shoot some free throws.
Yep. Mountaineers by 12. Edwards has space opened up and is fouled. 9th team foul. A 1-and-1 for Jesse Edwards.
Well, that's big. West Virginia will be in the bonus shooting 2 the rest of the way if there are any other fouls. And I'm sure Jack State's going to be doing some fouling there.
Jesse Edwards.
4th foul on Purdue as the first of the 1-and-1 missed by Edwards. 1:45 to go. Jack State needs points. They need it quick. Clark, Purdue. Edwards got a hand up, and that forces the miss from Brigham. Jack State still going to work to make the Mountaineers uncomfortable here. But with less than 90 seconds to go, maybe all she wrote, especially with another Mountaineer bucket here.
Well, Kobe Johnson doing a great job of getting the ball up the court.
Edwards made it look easy. Jesse Edwards with 14. And 6 rebounds. Count the 3 from the left wing by Quincy Clark. He'll have 13 points, and with 59 seconds to go, the difference is 11. And that just enough to keep Jack State in there after West Virginia got that bucket.
Well, you know, Clark and Tandy are their two guys that they go to and look to, and that time Clark able to get free and knock down a big three. Just when you think West Virginia might have this thing nailed down, they have a big shot that goes in, and it's still up 9, but you know, you got to take care of the ball and make some free throws.
Coming up in West Virginia's non-conference schedule, here's what they have. Next week, the week of Thanksgiving, they are down in Fort Myers, Florida, SMU, and then Virginia or Wisconsin, which will be the biggest test of the season by far for West Virginia. But, I mean, no credit against SMU, but then St. John's, Pitt, and Ohio State. The true test coming up pretty soon.
Not an easy road at all.
No.
Wow.
No, not at all. Which, frankly, was the last thing that this West Virginia team needed, as much as they've been through, and as new as they are to one another.
Yes. Certainly would be nice to get an early Christmas present and find out that Raekwon Battle
Yes.
might become eligible, but again, nobody knows anything.
Yep. Well, we saw some other waivers approved this past week.
Yeah.
As West Virginia waiting on. Second from the left, Raekwon Battle with his hands clasped right now. Kirk Risa, who West Virginia will have back. Sure he wants to be out there. And of course, a Cook, who's out indefinitely with a medical condition. 55 seconds to go. Neve Harris had it tipped out of bounds. Mountaineers up 11. But you know, Bake, you can further the conversation in West Virginia and its individuals, seeing the growth in Kobe Johnson. Maybe you get that out of Pat Sumnick. Maybe Jeremiah Bembry takes a first step or big step, you know, maybe halfway through the season. Everything's on the table, but nonetheless, depth is needed in the Big 12. And through no fault of their own, West Virginia just may not have that.
No, that's right.
And Johnson fouled with 38 seconds to go. Completely tied up there with Brigham.
The thing that would make it so important, if Raekwon Battle could, I've watched a ton of practice. You can't tell that this young man is not going to play. You know, a lot of guys would be discouraged because they have to sit out. He practices as hard as anybody every day, not knowing whether he's going to be able to step on the floor or not. And that's very, very nice to see out of a kid like that.
Now you can see it there on the bench. His desire to be out there. Free throw good for Kobe Johnson. It has been his night with 18 points. Noah Farrakhan on the left of Raekwon Battle there, who has to sit out this year. Will be available next year. There is Noah. So you get to rep and practice with all these guys, but it's completely different when you don't have them out there. And Kobe Johnson with 19, a new career high. West Virginia by 13 with 35 seconds to go. Rebound Slazinski. 1 second differential between the game clock and shot clock.
No need to foul now if you're Jack State.
And with Slazinski picking up that board, he's got a new career high in rebounds. With 6. 10 seconds to go. And Slazinski told to keep the ball by Coach Eilert. And that'll do it. Final score, West Virginia 70, Jack State 57. As the Mountaineers shoot 51% from the floor. Bake, your thoughts?
Well, you know what? It was a big win considering how they lost and disappointing it was against Monmouth. But West Virginia tonight fought from beginning to end, and you know, Kobe Johnson stepping up like that was huge.
They hold Jack State to 34% shooting, as West Virginia is led by Kobe Johnson with his 19 points, 7 of 17 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. By far, Kobe Johnson's best performance for the Mountaineers. Jesse Edwards with 14 points, and we'll get the final Edwards' rebound line, 14 and 6, so he doesn't get the double-double. But Quinn Slazinski as well, 19 points along with Kobe Johnson. Slazinski 19 on 6 of 10 shooting, officially 7 rebounds. That will tie a career high for him. Just got that sorted out. And chipped in 3 assists as well. And Josiah Harris, 12 points, 4 of 7 shooting, and 5 rebounds. Mountaineers 8 3-pointers on 19 attempts. Jack State hit 10 of 26. They shot just 34% from the field. And points off of turnovers, West Virginia 17, Jack State 12. Rebounding, West Virginia won that big.
Yeah, they did, and you know, at times they did look a little soft, but for the most part, and once you consider the amount of minutes these guys are having to log, that's a huge, huge win, and you know, just a great, great team win.
Waiting for interim head coach for West Virginia, Josh Eilert, to join Angelica Trinone in just a moment. But in this 3-game homestand for West Virginia before they head down to Florida, 2 wins, 1 loss. Knew you were going to have a hiccup somewhere, and in the positive way, or the optimistic way to look at it, is that you got it out of the way against Monmouth, and then you responded showing resilience.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You know, for their confidence, they needed that win at home.
Yep. They wanted it, and they got it, and they got country roads after the game. And everybody here at the WVU Coliseum able to enjoy it and get a very good performance from West Virginia in a couple of capacities. And Angelica Trinone is standing by.
We've got Kobe Johnson and Quinn Slazinski, 2 guys that scored 19 points for West Virginia. Kobe, for you, it was a career-high 19. I know that you had confidence in yourself this year, but it just seemed tonight you were playing with a little more. Would you agree?
Yeah, everything is just coming along together, you know. I'm just getting more comfortable out there, you know.
What do you think is leading to that more comfort? Because you were dominating early on both ends of the floor, not just offense.
I feel like me just being in the gym and these guys trusting me.
Quinn, we could say the same thing for you. I remember you saying a couple weeks ago you felt you were playing the most free you've played here at West Virginia. Looked pretty free to me out there tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you for my teammates. You just talked to Kobe Johnson. We told Kobe, you know, this is your team at the point guard position. You run the show. He pushed the pace, and that's what got us a dub. You know, we had a tough loss last week. He's talking about getting on the floor, making hustle plays. We did that tonight. We took care of business.
This team hustled on both ends of the court, like you just said. What do you think that this win shows about how this team responded, especially after the last performance?
Well, I was surprised about people showing up. You know, if Detroit Lions played bad, you know, I'd be like, oh, forget that. That just goes to show, you know, how much support we get here. We're sticking together. We're playing well. We're going to put pieces together. We're going to get some reinforcements soon, and we're going to be on top. So we're feeling good.
Guys, thank you. Congratulations on the win.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. That'll do it for us from the WVU Coliseum. So for Warren Baker, I'm Andrew Caridi. So long for the WVU Coliseum. The final score, West Virginia 70, Jack State 57. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.